Good morning, folks. Welcome to We the People. This is my new independent news source, We the People. I'm starting here today. And our topic today, we're talking about the DC mayor. As you well know, Donald Trump has used the National Guard to enforce the law in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. And the Democrats don't like it. And why don't they like it? Because they want the chaos. Okay? They want the crime to ensue, continue. I don't know why, but they want some kind of breakdown of our country, and we're not going to have it. But anyway, the mayor doesn't think the National Guard should be used for national law enforcement, when that's exactly their job. The whole point of the National Guard is to guard the nation from domestic and foreign threats. That is their job. National emergencies. If you know, like, they don't ever say nothing when the National Guard is used for disaster purposes. When there's a hurricane, then they use the National Guard to help rescue the people, or help go out for a search party and stuff, help clean it up. But when the law enforcement is used to actually clean up the crime in the cities, now the Democrats want to freaking cry and say, "Oh, I don't think it should be used for this. This isn't their job." Yes, it is their job. Okay? That is one of their main priorities, is the protection of the nation. So the nation doesn't go into collapse. Okay? And right, our country may not be perfect, but it definitely does not deserve to collapse, okay, or be destroyed just because some stupid idiot ideologues, so-called elites, as they're called. I don't know why they're elite. They're not elite to me. They're just people that think too highly of themselves, and they're stupid. But they think they know better than everybody else, and they don't. And when it comes to the National Guard being used for law enforcement purposes, well, if they're not going to allow the law enforcement to do their jobs and enforce the law, like they are, the National Guard is just basically there to, make sure everything is cool. The ones who are actually going out there are the FBI, the DEA, the federal agents, ICE and all them. They're the ones going after these illegal criminals that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Biden administration, they let into our country. Okay? Don't be mad at Donald Trump. He's the one who inherited all this. All of this was caused by Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and everyone in the Biden administration, the Biden DOJ, everything. They could have closed the border at any time. Okay? And you don't just, if you're going to bring people here for a better life, you don't just open the border and just say anyone who wants to come can come. Come. It don't matter. No. Okay? You do it in an orderly way. You know what I mean? You bring a few in at a time and be like, okay, that's enough. You set a cap on it. But they didn't. They just was letting whoever wanted to come in. And that is not right. That is wrong. Okay? I don't care what they say. It was illegal. They weren't able to change the law. They just ignored the law. They didn't follow the law. And if the leaders aren't going to follow the law, then they don't need to be in office. And this is something that I really know. Like, if you don't have law and order, you don't have a country. And all my grandfathers, my uncles, and my dad all fought for this country, and I'm going to fight for it too, right alongside Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, and Bobby Kennedy, everybody, Tulsi Gabbard, Kristi Noem, all the Republicans and people in the administration now that are trying to fix all this. They're working really hard day after day trying to get these criminals out of our country that are a real threat. They're hurting people. There's been a lot of rapes. Like, kids have been hurt, man. Kids, basically had legal trafficking. Like, a lot of you don't know this out there, but they have basically legal trafficking. But anyway, the focus is they're cleaning it up, they're bringing back the rule of law, and they're doing it, and they're trying to get these governors and mayors of these sanctuary cities, so-called sanctuary cities, blue states and cities, to comply with the law. No, we're going to follow the law, and you're going to follow the law too. If you don't, there's going to be a consequence, and they should be punished for not following the law, because they're the ones that are supposed to be making an example for the law, and they're just not good people. So that's why, I'm gonna do what's right. A lot of people don't like it when people do the right thing, the real truth. It's not your truth, it's not my truth, it's the real truth, the actual truth. The actual truth is Donald Trump was right about everything. He knows what he's talking about because he was in the system. He uses the system. He's the one that exposed the system for being rigged. Everything was rigged. And that's what all these movies like The Matrix and freaking all these movies about, everything being rigged by the elites and the Democrats and everything. Well, it was by the Democrats and the Republicans, but then Donald Trump got the Republicans away from that, and he started the MAGA party. Like, there's the MAGA Republican Party now, is Make America Great Again. And we're going to make America great again, whether people like it or not. That's the way it's going to be, and this is the way it's going to stay. Alright? I hear a lot of talk about, it's not meant to last. Yes, it is meant to last. And it's going to continue to last as long as people, good, hardworking, patriot Americans like me, like the little guy, still come here and want to be a part of this. United States of America, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's what we're about. We're about fighting for the rights for every man, and freaking, you want to come here, be American, be free. You know what I mean? You don't have to live under tyranny. You don't have to live under oppression. This is not oppression. Donald Trump is trying to free us from the oppression of this freaking controlled bureaucracy and deep state that the freaking Democrats have set up. That's what he's fighting against. That's what we're fighting against with him, the American people. The people that voted for him. There's over 70 million people that voted for Donald Trump, because we want to make America great again, and it's going to be great. That's all I have to say. If you like the video, please like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out a lot. And this is We the People, independent news source. James Duncan, signing off.